Hey man, welcome to the game. You're starting a new character along with Griff up there.
Oh,
So
hey Griff.
it's just I guess the three of us technically. Data is also playing. He is playing a character who you will meet soon. Trying to give too much away. If you look at the main board, you can see our little crazy conspiracy board that you're all getting pulled into.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of dead people and things.
Only like 4 dead people, and one of them's flayed. That's hardly dead.
No, he's dead. Yeah.
Oh, I see him. Okay, flayed. All right. Jeez.
Yeah.
Beat piss on. Ugh.
You guys can move any of these. Normally, one of our other players does a lot of the. I've made him in charge of the board. That's Grippy in the chat. But any of you guys can move or any of the tokens or draw lines.
Okay.
Now, real quick, let's do the most boring part of this. That's just rolling the dice and taking down some numbers. We have to do your attributes.
Yeah, dice.
Yeah, we got to do your attributes first.
Okay.
So here in Zweihänder, the whole character creation is random. You're gonna go from the only thing that won't be random is actually your second class split. We'll get to that at the end because you're technically going to be coming in at the second tier of game. The first tier is already over. So just roll me 3d10 plus 25 and do that. 1, 2, 3.
How many times?
7 times.
All right,
7 times, and then you fill them out from first roll to last roll. Combat, brawn, agility. You may not switch the rolls. You write them in the order they come.
Let's see. 3d10 would be 15 plus 25 is 40. So this is
You got
pretty
a couple
remarkably around the middle here.
Well, you got a 50. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's pretty good. You think you're the only 50 in the whole party.
Oh wow. Yeah, here I thought I just got, relatively average because, we got like the 38 by the 50, so it's like...
You got
But if that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. And what's that? Willpower. Cool.
42, 44, and then 38.
Where the hell did I put that bracket at? I had like a cheat sheet of macros for Roll20 lying around somewhere.
That's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, it's only helpful though if you can find it. Let's see.
I'll just post that for you if you want to copy paste it 7 times.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
I had like one that did it all together. And all I had to do was just mess with a few values, but
yeah.
All right, so bam. Oh no, I didn't want that.
So I think both of you said Griff, I know you haven't played Zweihänder, at least I don't think you have.
Right. I did a whole bunch of the Warhammer campaigns, ran them for a while, and this is supposed to be pretty similar.
It is supposed to be. I've only ever played Warhammer in a one shot. That's it. So, yeah. And Mirage, I know you. I think you said this was your first time playing as well in your app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Zweihänder, you do not. Your numbers, these numbers will never really go up. Okay, so you when you roll like a 50 for willpower, that's pretty much it. The whole game, it'll never really go up. It might go down.
Nice.
And it might go up if you get like a chaos corruption, but for the most part, your stats are always going to be these numbers.
Well, that didn't come out right. Or did it?
I did still do each of them individually. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them then. Yeah, you must have done like slash roll and then the brackets there, right?
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah, that'd be it. Man, that's weird formatting, huh?
Yeah. Jeez. think it
Now
was
we
just put
know.
it in order. And no one's half the battle, right?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Other half of battle's brutal violence.
All right, so I mean, since it's a percentile system, I don't think I did too bad. No 50s, but hey,
No 50s. Only one above average, but well, that's all right. There is a single mercy. Don't use it yet. That you will both have available to you.
Mhm.
You may set any one stat to 42, or switch any two stats at the end of character creation.
Ooh.
So that is essentially all you get. So yeah, you get to put that sweet 50 wherever you like.
Nice. I'll trust you to remind me on that later. It'll probably be a fun tool for later.
Definitely.
Or I'll just be master tradesman,
Yeah, there you go.
You were shockingly sub-average.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
That's all right. Hey, that's what the game's about.
Yeah, I guess improving that 33 to 42 would be really good for you because that's a huge point gap. Whereas for me, I probably just want to swap the 50 somewhere.
Yeah, you got first world problems there.
Exactly.
I don't know what to do with this 50 here. All right, so we put it anyways. What we got? Combat, brawn, agility, perception, intelligence. Okay, so standard spread is pretty much like 40k kind of, as far as their RPG system goes.
hmm
Where to put it? And for now, I'll just do an order. Be boring like that.
Yeah.
Right now, you're not much of a combat person, but you got average, everything else. Yeah.
Below average, everything else. Like, it's unfortunate, but
Someone's got to be it.
At least you're
yeah.
not bad at anything except combat.
Yeah. That's I guess.
It's like whatever you tell yourself, man.
It's pretty close. You just gotta look for advantages. That's all. While you guys are filling in real quick, because I will be asking you some questions about your characters while we go along the process. I have posted sort of on Roll20 on the main page the themes and or pillars of the Grimdark campaign. If you would just like quickly read over that to keep in mind those answers as we go forward, or if you would like me to read them, either way is fine with me.
Where do we find those again, you say?
Okay, let me double check, make sure I'm not sending you on a wild goose chase. Right on like when you first click on the campaign in your Roll20 campaigns, there's a recent game destruction. It's the only thing I've ever posted, and it's just the themes of the Grimdark campaign.
There it all is.
Yep. And just keep these in mind as I ask you questions and we answer them. Unlike our normal session 0, there's already some background inside. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
no problem.
gives us time to read. Investigative flair and conspiracies. Yeah, that's panned out for sure here. Rare combat and chase scenes. Heavy role play.
So what did you change to a 42 Mirage?
Oh, I was waiting until we get further into character creation until I get.
Yeah, I guess may as well
on.
see what
Okay.
you turn out first.
Exactly.
All right. I was wondering, since you said you weren't going to change the order of anything.
I mean, most likely, probably combat, maybe fellowship. I mean, it depends. Like,
I mean, you only get to choose one, so
yeah, one of
That's-
those two.
that's the hard choice you make sometimes. Oh, I'd like to switch these other 3 around, but I can't do it.
Yeah. What is it? Adapt and overcome.
No, it's die. It's die and roll up a better character.
It's adapted and overcome. Hoorah. Semper Fidelis. Okay.
Alright, superstitions.
Alright, looking good so far. X-Files and Warhammer. Yeah, I can get down with that.
Wait, am I on
I'm
the wrong
good.
thing? Ooh, I think I'm on the wrong one. Themes of the Grimdark
Yeah,
campaign, right?
yeah. You're just reading like the splash page.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was in the forum post on the Roll20 there.
Yeah, that's the right one. You were in the right one there, Mirage. The themes.
Oh, okay.
I think Griff may have gone off course. It's just like dire circumstances, recast your fate. You were a normal everyday person, however, something in your immediate past dramatically changed your life's path. You now find yourself among others of similar disposition.
All right. So we're just everyday blokes that, for some reason, the story has decided to focus on.
Yep. Thrown into a terrible situation. Next one, retribution and violence are hallmarks of your unfortunate birthright. The world you live in is largely uncaring, cruel, and selfish. The fetid stink of corruption wafts from every cobbled street and echoing hillside. The people are bound to strict social strata and rarely break free from the yoke of servitude. You know little of the world beyond where you were raised, but have grown accustomed to the grim nature of your environs.
Okay.
So let's see. I'll just go through
What a
them.
happy place.
Yeah. Ethnic identity binds communities together. It can also build barriers between them or tear them apart from the inside. Sometimes prejudice manifests because of traditions or religion. Superstition is the foundation of faith and affects every part of life. People genuinely believe that wearing charms made from dried cat eyes or talismans wrought from oddly green glowing witchstone shards will actually ward away riotous spirits, and if one prays hard enough for rain, it will. Your character likely believes these things, but behind the myth lies a kernel of truth.
Seems legit.
Religious ceremony and pagan rites dominate every facet of society. You pray hard and sacrifice to your own gods so they may save your soul from damnation. Most believe in a singular church, which we have. We've essentially we just called it the Church of Sigmar to make things easy. That's what it is. But the old ways were not completely rooted out. Medicine is esoteric and its practitioners few and far between. Quackery dominates the profession, where snake oil salesmen make up the bulk of the field. True physicians are generally at odds with the church, regarded as a necromancer, and their odd pursuit of vivisection in the name of scientific understanding. Sorcery and witchcraft is reviled by all those who dare call themselves as such, and are often burned at the stake. If you pursue these higher mysteries, these gifts must be hidden from the ignorant and stolen from the others who are of your ilk. One does not simply stumble across a grimoire of deep or develop an understanding of sorcery. Magic is a well-hidden secret, and only those who can employ it jealously guard this information from others. And of course, our final note, capricious and sinister forces vie for agency over the world's people from the abyss, the pit of destruction where all chaos is born. Their influence, called corruption, can physically, mentally, and spiritually twist those who come under its influence. Behind the curtain, these dark powers play puppet master, pulling the strings of both cast-asides and well-bred alike. They whisper into the ear of those they have chosen for a dark purpose. Perhaps you have heard their whispers too.
So listen to every whisper in my mind. Got it. Understood.
And of course, technology-wise, Griff, you had posted something earlier that I vibed with immediately because that's what I was basing it on. We're sort of early 1500s, 1520s, the Italian wars. So really, pike and shot is the new way armies are being fought and battles are being fought.
Oh yeah, I remember making that comment a while ago. Pike and shot is fun.
Yes, because that's exactly. I agree. That's what we've said it in.
Okay.
In the not so recent past, the last charge of the military nobility happened, and they kind of got wiped out. It was not a good time for them. So there are still knights floating around, but armies are now largely mercenaries. Everyone's basically equips themselves. It's a mess, and
we're in the Italian city-state money fight territory now, aren't we?
Yes, and with a little bit of the politics of the 30 Years' War. So the empire is fracturing and kind of falling apart at the moment. they've had the electors have had a succession crisis, and there is no emperor currently crowned, and it's split off into factions. So the empire is involved in a giant war, and it is the empire essentially from Warhammer. So
are we in the Warhammer universe, or is
we're
this
in a
an
like
amalgamation?
we're in a rip off of it. We ripped it off, but we kind of like Zweihänder in and of itself is it's just Warhammer with the serial numbers filed off, so we kind of kept that theme. The only like thing that we call exactly the Warhammer thing, because it would just confuse everyone, is the Church of the God Emperor is it's the Church of Sigmar.
Oh, okay. So
that's
besides that, and the general feel of the setting, it's its own thing. Well,
Yeah.
as own as it could be during the analogy.
Yeah, if I remember right, there's like a hobgoblin running around in this village who's a part of it. I think Data was playing that.
Yes, he wasn't a part of the village. He was a
interacted
highwayman.
with it.
Yeah, he was a highwayman. He came and went, and unfortunately died.
Yeah, but there's still beastmen out in the woods that eat people, apparently. So
well,
light changes.
Not so much anymore. You guys will be probably not from our original village, for reasons.
We're newbies. I figured as much. Yeah.
But maybe we will. I mean, we'll find out as we make our characters. That's one of the great things about sort of random
It says
generation.
my village got burned down by a random group of people. I wonder who those could have been.
Jeez.
Sorry, I like to use the actual book for this. So sorry, I'm flipping through.
Oh, I feel you. Just don't have enough space for books.
Yeah, I also feel that sometimes, but okay. Determine your sex. Male, female, doesn't matter. Sex and orientation. How if it differs, if it doesn't.
Was there a table for it?
There is not. They had one, and they decided that was a little off, so they've gotten rid of that.
Flip a coin. I'll just be a male today.
Okay.
I'll do D100 because I have no idea for the character.
Okay. D100. What do they mean?
Oh, 50 below female, 50 up male. Sound good?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a chick.
Nice. Okay, I will make a note right here. We're going to next get into your ancestry. You can either be human or roll on the table. On the table, you have the option of being dwarf, elf, gnome, halfling, or ogre. However, the note is you live in a human-dominated world. Dwarves, elves, halflings, they all live on the fringes of society. They do not. There is no elven empire right off the corner that is, there. There's an ogre one, but that's a somewhat. But the point is, the world is focused on humans. That's what I should. So it will be more difficult for you as a non-human in interactions with others. So you also still get a special ability as a part of your bloodline of a human if you pick human, and one of those can literally be you can be a half something. So even being human doesn't necessarily mean you'll be totally human.
There's always a half some. No one can keep it in their pants.
Does the random table also include human on it for randomly selecting it out, or is that just if you don't want to be?
You are either a human or something else.
I'll take human for $5.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take human for $10.
All right. All right.
I can't choose the same one. But yeah, I think integration is probably going to be the name of the game right now. So let's make it easy.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, easy maybe. We'll see.
Relatively speaking,
it is just like there's like racism is very much in this game. As literally any of Theta's characters could probably tell you.
Theta immediately rolling his eyes at us. I can feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Now each of you give me a D100 roll, and we will find out what ancestral bloodline you belong to.
Let's see if the family tree is a family circle.
All right. Griffin, 83, natural selection. So go ahead and write this down in your... Holy shit. Okay, you don't even need to write it down. You may permanently change any one attribute to a 55%. So keep that in
hell
mind.
yeah.
Just keep that in mind, and you can do that. No, you have to do it now. Yeah, you have to do it now.
Oh, right now.
I'm going to make that call. You cannot
obviously
wait
the
until
best
you're
thing to
mercy.
do would be to make my weakest stat 55, clearly.
Then
So
you can-
we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll make the 55 something later on.
I'm just
Yep.
gonna go on record and say my character is racist with anyone that's better than them.
Okay, I would be really... I would rethink that real quick. Because you are a mixed bloodline.
God dang it. Or
You-
Sigmar, dang it. Well, the question is, what's it mixed with?
Well, now give me another D100 roll, because you do not get to check.
Well, could be worse, right? Oh, 47. That doesn't seem too bad.
47, gnome.
Gnome.
Uh,
Half gnome. Or mixed gnome, or whatever. Huh. So how are gnomes in this setting exactly?
So we've had a gnome, but gnomes by and large are undefined. If you are a gnome, you've likely... halflings are part of actual society, in that they're like actually recognized. Gnomes are very much separate so far. So there's a lot of free space in you to decide where or how you come from, if you even know your gnomish ancestry. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot to work with there. Too bad.
Now
Where do I put bloodlines at? Or do I just put that in the background bar?
So yeah, you can write in your background, write half gnome. And Griff, on your sheet where you write human, spell it properly, because it actually autofills in things in the sheet.
oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah, no problem. I was just checking for you. Because of course, your ability bonuses are right. Oh yes, and go ahead and fill in your stats as well. You can see them on the left. I don't see them on. Can you edit your sheet, Griff? Yes, you can. Obviously, you just did. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Sorry, Griff. In the circle, not in the box. My bad.
Oh, which circle?
The circle above them, the big one.
Yeah, there's a circle to the left. You know what? I will help you out. I will do it.
Oh, it just erased all my stats. Oh no.
Right, when you typed in human, that's your bonus box. There you go. And what have you decided to make your 55?
The 38. So we'll just upgrade that real quick. Hey.
There you go. Perception. Excellent.
Ow. God,
So now you really are above average. Congratulations. Okay, sorry, my half gnome. Give me another D100 to find out what your actual trait is.
All right. 61.
So your half gnomish parent was a metronome. So here's your effect. All trappings you craft, with exception to armor, shields, and weapons, are always best in class, raising its resale value 3 times the listed price.
Oh. Okay. Where do I put that at?
Okay, hold on. I will open up your sheet for you. All open. I'm just going to click this button up at the top. Now, if you scroll down, you can see there's a thing for talents where you can add or modify. I just added a talent, which you can write in and move it out. Oh, sorry, I just screwed you over. I just put keep it on all open for now, so I can quickly get to where I need to.
Oh, okay. I won't mess with it.
There you go. And
Let's see. Basic talent. Leather, buckler. I think I got into it. Oh.
yeah, so I typed in this for you
Okay,
just so
okay,
you can
this
kind of
is-
see where it is
Where is
on the sheet. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Right there. Passed it like 2 times. You use both hands with equal finesse. Oh, is that just like a filler description?
Yeah. I'm typing it in right now.
Oh, okay.
This one probably won't save for you. Yeah.
Karen?
It's easy. Yeah. When you click it, that'll be it.
Competition.
Yes. Yes. You will meet Zaid. Zaid is a quest giver PC. I'm just kidding.
Quest giver. He's gonna mark a settlement on my map or something. Needs more help.
Okay, excellent. So because you're the first person to have something interesting happen to them, did you know? Are your parents like? Is one of your parents half gnomish or full gnomish? Right.
I would just I'm gonna say half. So that'd make my character a quarter.
Yeah. Do you know that? Do you know that parent?
That's a tough one. So since this is like a grim dark setting, I'm gonna say no. Either
So
maybe they ran off or they died, or both.
you don't know what you are.
Yes.
Or did your mother ever tell you? We guess your other parent ever tell you? Could be mother or father.
That would depend. Maybe just say like the other parent was from a foreign land. Maybe kind of just play it off as just someone just from not in the area here. That's why you have like some different features or whatever feature I decide on or roll up. Maybe something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
how much? Oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna add, but you have something else, so please finish your thought.
Oh no, I'm good. I already lost it.
My bad. How much of your gnomish heritage shows through? Like, are you just like slightly smaller, a little bit uglier than most people? Or you can kind of get the gnomes are kind of like lanky and shortish, sort of ugly in this setting or in the book as they're described. But you can kind of go any way you want with that.
Hmm.
Are
Maybe she's a bit lanky.
okay. So yeah, you're just like a little bit more weird proportioned.
Yeah, something's off there a bit. It's not like super weird, like how to put it, like Quasimodo levels, but it's like just seems a little bit off, at least compared to like someone like so maybe I'd have to figure that one out. It's a tricky one there. I've never played a mixed gnome before.
Yeah.
I mean, half elf. It's beautiful. It's easy. Oh, I'm too beautiful for my people, or whatever. Um.
And it's not like
Yeah.
people. Oh, sorry.
Oh, good. No, go for it.
I was gonna sound like people are in general very pretty, right? Like, it's kind of grimdark. Everyone's
Yeah.
a little odd looking.
And you're the worst. Congratulations.
I think there's worst options. I could have rolled ogre. Maybe I don't know. since it's loose with the gnome thing, maybe there's also like different colored eye or something. I don't know. It seems a bit overplayed these days, though. We'll agree. She definitely looks different. I just need to like decide, but I
Okay.
don't think it's anything too drastic. But enough there that kids will find anything to make fun of.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Okay, give me another D100 each of you, and this is for your archetype.
Oh, sweet.
So this is what kind of class you can roll up.
66.
Griff, you are a ranger. Haven't had one of
Wow.
those yet.
Okay.
Or maybe we did. Mirage at a 26. You are in the commoner archetype. There is no place to write your archetype on this sheet.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I'll
take
just
that
make
out
a
of
note.
profession.
Yep. Yeah, your profession is something different.
So archetype.
I'll just put that in background for now.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Good job.
Oh.
Yep. I know. I'm kind of. You each of you have a list of starting trappings. We're not going to worry about that right now. I will post it to you sometime in between sessions because it just takes a lot of time. Unless either of you have access to the book. Do either of you have the books? Or the
I
PDF?
don't, but I could just get it later.
Yeah.
I went ahead and grabbed it. And actually, did it ever come up for me? Oh, it's just in this weird tab that doesn't show up. There we go. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So if you want to, and you can kind of see where your trappings are, you can start filling that out or fill it out later. It's
yeah, I'll probably just come back to it now. We'll just keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's okay. So now each of you give me another D100, and we'll find out your class.
Let's do it. 70.
84.
Okay, I'm looking at you. You are a peasant. Mirage Chaser, you are a peasant.
Lowborn.
Yeah, you don't even get to roll on the social class table. You are just a lowborn peasant.
Jeez. We got Griffin here who's like, you're a ranger, and you're the king of the land, and you have 255s for free. Just go see that life.
I'm just a perfect, beautiful human who hunts around in the woods and has pointy ears. Pay me no mind.
I know, right?
You are actually a pilgrim.
That is a profession?
That is your profession. You are a pilgrim.
There we go. And I might actually have a social class then.
You do actually get to roll for social class, yes.
What are we rolling for then?
We're not there yet.
Okay, well, I'll hold off then.
Yep. Okay, so your encumbrance limit, initiative, and movement are all taken care of on the sheets. To just avoid... Oh, sorry. To avoid confusion on the first session, but I'm sure we'll have to go over it again. If you scroll down to the top of the talents and trappings part of the page, it should be just under all the stats and things. You'll see your encumbrance limit, initiative, and movement is all up there. The number in that left box, that's just your number. Don't worry about anything else right now. You can just use that. And when you roll for initiative, it happens at the start of every session. You'll roll a d10 plus that number, and we'll of course go over that again.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to do background stuff. Each of you give me another D100, and let's find out into what season you were born.
Let's see. 89.
81 and 89. You are both winter babies.
Yay.
So you're both born in the winter.
Some common ground.
Watch, Crip's going to be like a noble. Just gonna be, yeah. Okay. Each of you give me a D100. This is for your... Yeah, so I'll explain what this is in a second. 61. Okay. So when you were both very young, your parent took you to a prognosticator, and they foresaw your doom and how you will leave this mortal plane. And this is how you will die. Griff.
I just want some socks.
The oldest are the strongest. The oldest are the strongest. So that is your dooming.
And where should I put that?
And their background. Yep.
Okay. Doom. The oldest are the strongest.
And Mirage at 61. Some things man should not know.
Ominous.
Of course, if you die according to your dooming, I will, as long as I remember, reward you an extra 100 reward points.
I just gotta find an old man to kill me.
Okay.
Sweet.
Right. They're pretty loose. One of Theta's characters, like the stench of the grave, follows him, and he had a bunch of skulls. They had a bunch of skulls in the back of this wagon, and he was killed then. So technically, that was it. The stench of the grave. He had all these skulls. He was murdered.
Yeah,
by.
perfect.
Yeah, so there you go.
Congrats.
Yeah, right. Okay, give me another D100. This is your age group.
93.
You are elderly.
I'm about to die, everybody.
You are elderly. You are old AF. Raj, you are young. You are young.
His guy comes in. Hey, what's up, dudettes? He has like the backwards hat, trying to be young and everything.
How do you do, fellow peasants?
Griff, you get okay. So because you are young, so age, put anything between like 18 and 22, right? Or I guess really 16 and 22.
You mean Mirage, because he
Right, yeah. Griff, you are 50 plus, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, middle age. No, 60 plus. Sorry, you are 60 plus.
Sweet.
And see, since he is young, he has no distinguishing marks. And since you are elderly, you have 3. So go ahead and roll a D100 3 times, re-rolling any doubles.
100, you say?
Yes.
All right, so 1, 2, 3. No doubles.
Okay.
See what he gets.
You have terribly crooked teeth. A patch of white hair, so I assume you are bald. And a 6-fingered hand.
The 6-fingered handed man.
Yes.
Do not cross any Spaniards.
Well, I don't know. I've lived long enough. Maybe I have. I've just forgotten.
Now they're old. Oh no.
I'll also fight Sicilians when death is on the line.
Nice.
Okay. One more D100 for complexion. There's no stigma attached to complexion in our world. So
It's a fun fact. 40.
just a fun fact. You have light tan skin.
92.
You have ebony skin.
Oh, sweet.
So you will match one of our other party members, Rutherford, because that's one of the rare options, which is kind of fun. Like it's all white people and whatever. Anyways, build type. Another D100 each of you.
All right.
Doop-a-doo. 43.
89.
43 and 89. Okay. For the 43, you are normal, so no price modifier. You have a normal build. 89, you are corpulent. You are quite large, and all armor costs 20% extra if you want to buy it.
Oof.
Nice.
Oh crap! Sorry.
So let's see. So old, crooked teeth, patchy white hair, 6 fingers. Yeah, he's getting better all the time.
I guess I had to balance out some way for all those 50s you got.
I think so far I'm getting an Austin Powers vibe off this guy.
Oh, sorry about that.
Look, we just didn't have dental plans back then.
Okay, give me another D100. Each of you. This is for your height and weight.
All right.
89? Oh, 83.
83. You're quite tall.
Actually,
You
the
are
place
six.
to put this.
You are 6'1", 199. Just keep writing it in background. It's the only place.
7.
7 on female. So, well, this actually makes a lot of sense. You are 5'2", but 198 pounds.
Ah, jeez. Okay.
So you said 6 foot 1 inch and how much weight?
I think you're also 199 pounds.
Guess I'm like
Perfect.
the baker's daughter or something. Or I found all the fatty food.
Well, there is a life between you being a peasant and whatever you are now, because as I said, you guys are already at your second professions, right? So there was a time period from when you were a peasant, and then you did something else for a while, and we're gonna try and figure out what that is. It does seem fairly difficult to figure this out from nothing, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see how it goes. Okay, hair color. I'm guessing I'm rolling both on the human table, unless you want your hair color to be gnomish, Mirage.
I'll roll on the gnomish table.
Okay, so
Nice.
each of you another D100.
All right.
Got 73 over here.
Okay,
15.
73. You are a ginger,
Woo!
and Mirage is a 15. Medium brown hair. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it could have been much different, but didn't get there.
Just getting more and more
could've-
special every time.
You could have had blue-black hair, so
Ah,
whatever.
Nice.
And then now eye color again, gnome or human.
no.
Okay, give me each D100s.
$15. Again.
Okay, 15. Gray. You have gray eyes.
All right. Bam.
Griff, is yours the 57?
Yes, it is.
Oh, sorry for eye color. Okay. Light brown.
Light brown eyes.
Okay. And now we have our upbringing. So this tells us a little bit about how your life was, or how you were raised. And we're going to do this and social class at the same time. So Mirage just rolled D100, and Griff rolled 2 D100s.
I
Oh,
don't
boy.
kill people.
23 and 74.
Nice.
25.
Nice. 25. Okay. So real quick, you had a forgotten upbringing. Mirage.
Forgotten upbringing? What? Did they like, wait, did I have a kid or not? Guess not.
Just have the village raise him.
Yeah, I will. I'll read you about that in just a second. Griff, you are a burgher, so you're of this newfangled and burgeoning middle class,
Heck yeah.
and you're, let's see, 23. Oh, 23. But you also had a forgotten upbringing, so both of you were forgotten about.
Who? What?
Yeah. You were raised outside of common society and had little opportunity to integrate until now. Maybe you grew up on the streets, were raised by wolves, or the last scion of a noble house. Being from an outcast family afforded benefits, but today you have nothing but yourself to rely upon. You became quick in life, but do you feel as if there is a hole in your life?
That's
Wow, so we have two people who are just like random outcasts wandering into this village now. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, at least you have something going.
Yeah.
And we're
I mean,
born
at least
on the
I'm of
same
high
page,
social
too.
strata despite not being a part of society.
Nepotism there for you.
Yeah. Well, as a pilgrim, maybe something happened. We'll get to this. We're
Yeah,
almost
we'll get around to this.
we're almost done with all the rolling stuff, and then the rest of this is going to be figuring out how the fuck we're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's the fun part. Now each of you have some cash. Mirage, roll 3d10 plus 3, and Griff, roll 2d10 plus 2.
All right. 2d10 plus 2. I have a 14.
You
That
have
is-
14 silver shillings.
Wait, was it
Ooh.
+3?
Yes, you are plus 3. You have 20 brass pennies.
Yay!
Yay, money.
You will find that at the bottom of talents and trappings page. There is. Maybe you won't. Oh yes, you will.
It's
You'll
there.
see coinage, and it has the breakdown. 1 gold crown is 20 silver shillings, and each silver shilling is 24 brass pennies. No, yes, I think that's right. Is it? Might not be.
At the bottom. Armor. Oh, coinage. Duh. Wait. Sweet. I actually
Oh,
have
I think
some
that's
chump
wrong.
change.
It's 12 brass pennies is a silver shilling.
Oh, okay. So
I'm rich.
I'll put 1 silver shilling at 8 brass penny. There we go.
Okay. Before we get into questions, right now each of you have 1 fate point. This goes up at the top.
Okay.
Plus
I'll
1.
fill it. Each of you has 1 fate point. Now, a fate point can be used to ignore an injury that you are dealt, or ignore you being killed once. Right? You spend it once and it's gone. This is why this is important: is any attack in Zweihänder explodes and can be potentially lethal. So even if a peasant throws a rock at a fully armored knight, you could roll enough 6s to instantly kill that knight.
Neat.
So to balance that out a little bit, you get these fate points. Now, you only start with 1, but you may take another if you choose to roll on the random drawbacks table.
Ooh.
So you will gain a random drawback, but you'll gain an extra fate point.
What are these drawbacks like, exactly?
Well, they can be anything from you are missing a leg and can't run, to you have a nemesis who is attempting to kill you, to you have an addiction, to you can be a eunuch. There's a lot here.
That sounds really tempting. I mean, I'm already in for a penny.
Heck, I'm down. Let's do it. What am I
Okay.
rolling?
D100.
Pow, 46.
45.
Oh wow, both of you are lily-livered.
Lily liver?
Yes, when you fail to resist stress, fear, or terror, you temporarily reduce your initiative and movement by -3. This lasts until you get a good rest.
Fail resist fear or terror, reduce. I'm just trying to tap it out at the same time.
Yeah, you put this under traits. It's to the right of all your skills.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yeah, sorry. Lily-livered. Whenever you... Oh, no. That's something else. Whenever you fail to resist stress, fear, or terror, you temporarily reduce your initiative and movement by -3 to a minimum 1. This effect lasts until you get a good night's rest.
All right, that was a mouthful. There we go. Got it.
By 1?
By 3.
Ooh.
Minimum 1.
Okay, so now let's do your alignment. So I have my little house rule on alignment is at the end of every session, I will ask you whether you feel like you have shown either of your attributes, and you will gain some extra experience if you do. So go ahead, each of you give me a D100 for your alignments.
13.
15, okay.
99.
99. Okay,
Nice.
99. So Mirage, you are zeal and fanaticism. Griff, you are charity and pity.
Huh. Interesting.
So I will give
Perfect.
you the book definition, although these ones are pretty easily. Charity and pity. Your heart thrives on the notion that it is morally just to provide for the needs of others. While certain charlatans will attempt to prey upon your goodwill, your generosity will win you many friends and favors in return. The other side, pity. What you view as kind and giving, others view as condescending and mocking. You will never be accepted by those to whom you offer your hand in aid, as their perceptions were formed by generations of mistrust. What you naively view as good-hearted, others view as manipulative and self-serving.
Perfect.
And of course, zeal and fanaticism.
Can I put those above order and chaos alignment?
Yeah, they are the order and chaos alignment. So it says order alignment, it would go zeal, and above chaos alignment, it'll be fanaticism.
Okay.
And here's just a quick reading on those. Your dedication to religious undertaking helps lead many a soul to greater understanding and provides the lost with a path to salvation and a sense of belonging. Others will be wary of crossing you, for it is believed that to cross you is to invite the wrath of higher judgment. And now the chaos side of this. The hand of either a just or cruel God, your unwavering dogma will cause the suffering and misfortune of many you come into contact with. You are the personification of oppressive thought and will be viewed as a symbol of such. You shall be feared, but as a monster that must be hunted.
Wow. Not the process there. All right.
So that is all our rolling. So since you guys are going to pick up the books later, I will,
Right over here.
yeah, or now I'll kind of give you the lowdown of what to type in. Mirage, of course, if you don't get the book in the next week, just send me a message this weekend. I'm going to be working on other stuff for you guys, so I can easily fill in all the like details of your class for you. I do not.
Wonderful.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, Griff, you have no excuse.
Yeah. Just creating more work for myself.
I'll probably pick up the book later on through Drive-Through RPG maybe or something. I think it's on sale there for like $19.
Oh, and I saw a coupon. Well, maybe I can dig that up for you. I think there's a coupon on for $7 off. I'll
Ooh,
see if I can get it for you. Yeah.
that'd be still at $12. Yes, we got the kind, humble old man and the fanatical kid.
Well, now we have to figure out what your backgrounds were. Then we got to figure out what your what happened to you. And I actually think it kind of works that you guys are together in some way, because of course, as the pilgrim who is charitable, it makes a lot of sense that maybe you came along this fanatic, who obviously is in need of charity.
And I'm obviously in need of a bodyguard.
So
You're
there's
terribly naive.
there's a lot here for us to sort of play off each other. I think it would be really cool if we did, and it might make introducing you guys to the party easy. I don't want to force anything on anybody, so just let me know how you feel about that.
I think it'll definitely be a fun idea. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm so far digging this.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
we're
do it.
terrible
We're
guys.
we're coming in as a religious duo.
Yeah. Okay. So as a pilgrim, you have devoted yourself to your faith entirely. You are a religious wanderer moving from village to village, preaching the gospel and visiting holy shrines. Whether in the deepest reaches of old ruins or great city temples, the pilgrim actively seeks out miracles, relics, and saints they can hold dear in their soul. Although often denounced as fanatics, they know within their heart of hearts that they are the closest of all mankind to the gods. They cannot be disputed, for despite not having taken holy vows and principles, they seem resistant to the dark pull of abyssal promises of power. If a pilgrim needs more than faith for their protection, they keep their walking stick as a cudgel or fall in with a band of adventurers. Their callings need for them to be self-sufficient, mean they have skills useful in the wilderness, in healing, and in social situations. So they are often welcome traveling companions. While the pilgrim is a bulwark of his faith, chaos loves picking at their insecurities. Any flinching away from the pilgrim's divine certainty is like finding a chink in the armor for corruption. Chaos thus feeds on a pilgrim's self-doubt, replacing their once beloved gods with new gods of blood, decay, and perversion. A pilgrim never loses their love for their old gods, but it lessens as their devotion to a sicker, more abyssal lord festers. So your special ability, that kind of defines your class, Griff, is Road to Enlightenment. When you suffer 1 to 3 corruption, you can make a routine resolve test. If you suffer 4 to 6 corruption, you can make a standard, and if you suffer 7 to 9, you make a challenging. If you successfully, you suffer no corruption. Okay?
Yeah.
So you can do all sorts of evil stuff and not have any downsides to it.
Perfect. I'm divinely immune from prosecution and consequences.
Diplomatic immunity.
How the peasant. I will read the. I'll read the thing here for you.
I imagine it's going to be very depressing.
Not all heroes come from upstanding knightly orders or students of arcane lore. The real heroes of the realm are the peasants who work the fields, trying to provide enough food for their families and their lieges. Most peasants are hard-working and happy with their lot, finding joy in the repetition of plowing, sowing, and harvesting their fields. Tending and slaughtering their herds, gathering nuts and berries from the common land and selling their wares and repeating the process next year. This is a simple life, little change for generations, and it is not an easy one. Your work determines if your family will live through the winter, and though more children means more mouths to feed, it also means more hands to work the field. Peasants are a common sight in a grim and perilous world. Some despise this life and want more than another season of drudgery, perhaps even aspire to become a folk hero of legend. Others flee after suffering spoiled crops from one year to the next, and from seeing their families suffer from hunger and disease. This is made worse by seeing others who have more, despite not having worked as hard. The heart of the simple peasant is as easily inflamed by valorous deeds as it is lured into sin. Armed with sickle and sword, peasants may rally to strike off the head of the very lord they've previously served before. So your special ability is more work, like from Warcraft. More work. Anyways, adjust your peril threshold by +3. In addition, you always recover your peril condition to unhindered after resting. So you are exceptionally tough, right?
I can take a beating.
Yeah, here, I'll put this in your modifier for you.
Oh, okay.
Goes in that little box, yeah. I just want to make sure it goes in the right box. So, yeah, you can take a beating, a mental beating. You're tough. You're not going to give up easy. Whereas some of us may faint at the sight of a little blood, you probably won't.
Sweet, that's good. Because I'm going to spill a lot of it. No, just playing. It's all good fun here.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you look at the rewards and tiers page of your character sheet,
all right.
I will just explain this. This is something that will have to happen at another time. The profession, you write in your basic profession up there. The trait to the right of that, and then in the book, there's going to be a fill out. These are all the skill ranks you can pick up, and then all your bonus advances and all your talents. You will write all these in, and then you're actually going to check every single box because you technically have every single one of them. Because you are, of course, of the next tier. So you guys have already filled out your first tiers.
Very nice. Let's click all the things. There we go.
Yeah. So you have all these things, and then the way that works on the other part, on the skills and attributes part of your character sheet, when you like, if say you have a rank, I just flipped off it for some very silly reason. Where's peasants? Here you are. Like if you have your rank in athletics, you'll see on the skill ranks part of the page, the skills and attributes page. There's like a little box for you to click next to it, and that shows you have trained one skill rank.
All right. So I'm going to fill it in over there, and then I'll come back over here and fill it in here too. Got it.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry about that. I know it's difficult. I'll of course do like a little audit for you guys before, just make sure everything's set up correctly. Yeah. Sorry. The bonus advances are they're little boxes next to the attributes, and these are things like a CB is your combat bonus, directly relates to damage. Fellowship bonus relates to how much extra money you can make when you pass a successful selling check. These are sort of how your stats affect other things, right? These are like your modifiers. I don't really know how else to explain that.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, you can see it says like next to the box, it says advance. Whenever you get advance in something, you click that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now it is time for your mercy. You know what you kind of are, what you're sort of good at as a peasant. It isn't much, unfortunately, but it's there. Something's
I
there.
can take a beating.
That's right. So you may either switch an attribute or set 1 to 42. Yeah, Griff, you can decide to be good at anything you want, I guess.
Yeah, more or less here. Only question is, what do most of these fall into yet? I haven't checked them off yet. We got heal.
Sorry, I think I actually screwed you.
Resolve. And I guess rumor. So let's take a look where they are.
Yeah.
Well, bump the fellowship up to 42.
So heal, resolve,
Bump
and
it
rumor
fellowship,
are in intelligence, willpower, and fellowship.
Yeah. I mean, like the good thing is you have a good willpower. You might want to maybe switch your perception to something else.
Right. I think that probably is worth exchanging. And the question is, what is it most worth exchanging with? I guess I could be the intelligent person.
Yeah.
And I guess that fits the most. I don't think there were any agility abilities here.
Right. Not really, but it could be. There might be stealth.
Right. I mean, it might be needed, but I may as well be best in the thing that I'll have the most synergy with, right?
Yep. There you go.
So I think that is probably worth an exchange. And the question is, oh, right. I guess it just becomes the 41. That's right, because it's exchange. So 41, 55. I'm no longer as perceptive of an old man, but I am smarter.
Old, smart, and wise. Old man. I like it.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So we got folklore. I'm just going to fill in the bubbles now. Oh, there's advances on the left and right side. Is there a difference between those?
Yes.
Oh, the advances are for the stat. Yeah, I see now. Okay.
Yeah, the ones on the left that are in like a little 6 are for the stat. The ones that are 3 out are for skills. So at your basic level, you'll only have 1 dot in the skill. At your intermediate level, you will have, and that's when you start getting that second dot, that second precious dot. Okay, so I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. We're going to try to figure out who these people are. First, I want to know a little bit about your lives before you met each other. Let's start with Griff, because we kind of know a little bit about Mirage. You are a blank slate, Griff, but you were You were forgotten at birth, but you had some money. You are still a burger. You're not quite a lowborn, so there's something of whatever your parents were was left to you, in some way. What do you think? How do you think that kind of went?
How it went, or what do you think that thing they left to me is?
I mean, like, what do you think the situation was? They left you some
Um,
money and a social status. That's what they left you.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm of the social status, but maybe they couldn't support their social status with me around. Sending me off to be a monastery or monk or something like that who travels around is probably the easiest way to get me out of their way and no longer in their financial book.
Do you think they sent you to a monastery?
Yeah. And then I guess the monastery went, why don't you just travel around because you're young and obviously way too energetic?
Okay, so you sort of had
50 years later.
Geez, was this the monastic order you were sent to? Are you familiar with like sort of real world monastic orders?
Just a little bit.
Okay, so I kind of, because your charity, would you say it could be an analog of like the Franciscan order, the sort of charity and piety thing there, or pity thing?
That would definitely make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because
Becoming raised by them and just inheriting their values makes perfect sense.
yeah. So let's kind of, well, I mean, but you could go any way you want with that. You could go be sort of like Jesuit. You could be, kind of Dominican, who sort of became the Inquisitors a little bit, just a little bit.
Right. I would be lying if I said I didn't come into this thinking like, wow, maybe I'll just be the fire and brimstone guy who stomps into town and tells everyone off for all the murders they've been causing.
Yeah, that's not so much your goal. That seems more like Mirage's deal.
Yeah, that's more Mirage's goal here. So I'm pivoting over from like that silliness to like, okay, so how does this guy interact with the world and what is he like? So I'm not familiar with monastic orders, but it wouldn't be too hard to just play off one that is basically built upon that charity, I think. And that's an easy enough roleplay for me, I think.
Okay, so we'll kind of say based off St. Francis. The Church of the God Emperor isn't super defined, but it is very Catholic Church in its methods and rituals. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your order? If you don't want to come up with a name, but it could be like Saint whatever's order, or however you want to do that. So why don't you give me a name for your order, or if you want, I can do it. I don't care.
Yeah, names are hard. I'll let you pick one if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw up like a random name generator. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it though? Why don't you tell me something odd about the order and what the public thinks about them, right? Like if you told your random person, "Hey, I'm from this monastery," what are they gonna think about you?
Let's go with like the Christian socialist bent. So the weird thing people would probably know versus how people perceive it. I imagine on the perception range of it, the public perception would be if you're wealthier, you don't care about these poor people telling you to give away more of your money. But of course, if you're poor, you probably enjoy them slightly more because they will give you free stuff all the time. But what's weird about it? That's a tough one.
So the weird is not something everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
This is something only members of the order know. By the way, you are the member of the...
Oh, I got it then. It is secretly seditious. That is not something everyone would know. And in the context of a bunch of charitable monks in the midst of an empire in feudal war, makes a lot of sense.
Okay. What kind of actions are they taking? Like, how are they advancing their sedition? Like, what I'm asking is like, what kind of shape does that take?
Probably much like they do with the rest of their charity. They are giving supplies to people who are willing to, say, fight for people's freedoms and things like that.
So we're like
So they
very
are on a
progressive.
supplier side, but don't take actions themselves for sure.
Okay, so you're okay. There's a lot of cool things I can go with this.
So I could see the racket right now. Go to the wealthy nobles, say, "Hey, donate some of your wealth to us, and we'll give it to the poor, and we'll say that you're really good, and maybe give you a statue or a plaque." And then they turn around and give that to people trying to undermine them. That seems like a fun setup.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, I have another question for you. I'm just going to write out in the Discord the name of your order.
Okay, doke.
I don't know if that adjective makes like that. Tunisian monk. That might make more sense than that. But the Holy Order of Saint Tanis, and you are a Tunisian.
Holy Order of Saint Tanis. Perfect.
And you will be getting a document, both of you. I did this for everybody in this game because this game has a lot of emphasis on people you know in the world. And the way I solved this issue is everyone got a large personnel dossier about people you know and some sort of background stuff. So each of you will be getting that before Wednesday. Really hope it's not minutes before Wednesday. We will see how this weekend goes.
I understand that feel entirely. Feel no pressure from me.
I will try hard, but sometimes. Okay, so yeah, so we have a bunch of communist monks. You've gotten in trouble for what you've done. I think you've gotten caught in some way.
Ooh.
Um,
What do you mean giving them food and water and alcohol and ammunition was wrong?
Yeah. I think you've gotten caught in some way, and something that landed you in trouble. I don't think it caused the Tunisian order to excommunicate you and say, "Oh no, we don't know him." But I think they moved you. What did you do? And what was the fallout? What bad things happened because of your mistake?
Oh, so what would get me in trouble with the monastery itself? What kind of personal flaw gets this person in trouble?
Sorry. I'm going to make a quick note.
Okay.
Because I didn't talk about lines in the sand. This is a good time because we're talking about Catholic Church stuff.
Oh yes, I read that part.
Yeah. So
I intend to go nowhere near that one.
Okay, good. Okay, so I won't even bring it up.
No little boys are involved in this one. I guarantee.
Yeah. My brain just started going. I was like, "Oh, wait." Okay, there we go.
But no, so far, I know what this person looks like, but we don't have much of the personality yet. They're a little bit charitable, maybe a little condescending, but then they do something wrong among a bunch of charitable monks.
And it could have been wrong, just like the state. You did something wrong in accordance to the state, and they found out. Or it could be you pissed off the order in some way. Either of those, I will accept.
Let's go with the low ball of I made the perfectly rational philosophical argument of it is right to steal bread if you're hungry. And then, maybe as part of show demonstration, just handed it over to a poor, impoverished child. And someone didn't like that, like the merchant. So everyone just kind of goes, all right, maybe he was a little thick there. If we just distance him for a little bit, they won't punish everyone for actively encouraging thievery.
Yeah. After that, you were sort of forced to become a traveling monk. You were cast out of the monastery, and this is when you became a pilgrim. I think that makes sense. Right? If that tracks with you, anything I say is not so and so. If it tracks with you, just go ahead. So you went out as a pilgrim. In your earlier years, something you found horrified you, and something you found moved you in a way. something gave you faith, and something rattled that faith.
Ooh,
And
that's a
what
perfect
order
moment for
was-
the sublime right there.
Yeah. And the order can be either way, right? You can be rattled and then something reinforced it, or you could have had a reinforced faith that was then rattled.
Mhm.
And I think that sets up an interesting character, or you can be like sort of over it. But either way, I think
Well, the sublime is the implication that something can be both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Like,
I
say,
like it.
a tidal wave that is coming in and will kill you. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. It's also magnificent and awe-inspiring. So maybe some kind of natural disaster would clearly cause sort of both of this at the same time. Very much a theodicity problem of why would this be allowed to happen in a fair and just world versus, oh yeah, don't mess with that volcano. Maybe in my travels I went very far south and actually saw a volcano, because that's fun actually.
Yeah, I saw a volcano erupt.
Yeah. So simultaneously shakes and reconfirms my faith. Unless you wanted to take two different answers there, in which case I'll think about it.
No. That's cool. Do you think you came out of that a firmer believer, or do you think your faith is on shakier ground?
Well, this person's faith is clearly built on charity and helping people. I think it might come out firmer for it. Because just look how terrible things could possibly get. By the way, things can get pretty awful with fire falling from the sky.
Yes. Okay. I have one more for you before I want to move back to Mirage. Maybe in relation to this event, or maybe not.
Uh-huh.
You came into contact with the being of the Abyss.
Ooh.
This is the Abyss. For those familiar with Warhammer, these are the Chaos Gods. So in Zweihänder, we have a lot more. But the four basics: Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh are there. And the fifth one, that's like the weird Malachi, is there.
We got the rat.
And then there's the rat. Yeah, there's the horned one, and there's a few others, like minor ones.
But it takes a looser interpretation. Just says, yeah, there's a lot of them. Have fun.
Yeah. You had an encounter with one of these beings in some way. What happened? Did you overcome, or I think you definitely overcame it because you have a firmer faith. So I think you overcame it. What was that encounter? How did it end? And why does it drive you? Why does it? And I think one of the outcomes is you realize the danger that this poses to everyone. So that's kind of got to be connected to that, right?
Right.
You've seen firsthand the workings of the Abyss.
All right. So encounter with the Abyss. Let's turn this all into a little narrative scenario. We go to the volcano, we see it erupting, we go to help, and somewhere in there, wouldn't you know it, there's some demon of the Abyss. Perhaps it was lying dormant in the volcano. Maybe it was even responsible. This person is also a coward. He definitely would not go up and fight it. So it becomes firmer in his resolve because there are things he can do other than trying to beat the Abyss literally back into a volcano.
Yeah.
So he overcame it by getting other people to safety rather than, say, trying to do the big damn hero thing.
Right. There were many people you couldn't save, but there's one in particular that you remembered. Perhaps it was somebody close to you, perhaps not. But you saw the Abyss take them in a way that obviously it already terrified you. But this is like a basically, what's a dramatic death or fall or something that has scarred you in connection with this event? Does that make sense? Is the question?
Yeah. I mean, this is a volcanic eruption. Someone burning to death under volcanic ash is definitely in the room of traumatic, terrifying death.
But I think specifically the creature caused it. It caused
Yeah.
something. Okay. So yeah, so we'll just say all the deaths was very traumatic. I mean, that makes a ton of sense, and I think the more obvious answer.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to type all this out, but this is looking pretty, really fun and dramatic. Definitely a great moment for someone else's story.
Okay, Mirage, you were abandoned as well. Your family left you nothing. You probably do you even know who any of your parents are? Maybe not.
Maybe vaguely. Her father before, because while you guys were doing that, I was thinking of her background. So I'm thinking father peasant, mother was a half gnome, mother disappeared. She doesn't quite know because she was far too young when it happened. Uh, Times get tough. Father abandons her for maybe some money or something to a strange old woman. It's kind of like, I don't know if this world has a hag or something equivalent or something terrible, maybe, you know?
Oh, so you think you were sold?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's just boom lay it on. Okay.
hmm
So you think you were sold to maybe a creature of maybe not the abyss, but definitely connected to it. Um,
Yeah.
let's,
And
let's say a witch. Let's just say your average every old day actual witch.
yeah, placeholder or whatever. In case you
Yeah.
don't know.
Because I don't necessarily know if you understand what kind of things did the witch make you do. Like, what was your service to her like? Because she obviously didn't just sacrifice you. She may have been pruning you for sacrifice.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking she's also overweight too. It's like, yeah,
Gosh, you're just pure Hansel and Gretel here.
pretty much, except it wasn't immediate there, you know. As for what she did, probably cleaning out stuff and remains and whatnot. You know, very unpleasant with the constant threat, like, hey, you know, you don't do a good job, this will be you. And then when
Right.
she did do a good job, it's like, oh, here's some food. And coming from, you know, a really dirt poor family and not wanting to offend, it's like, oh yeah, this is good, thank you. And slowly, like, also resenting the said witch. Maybe that's what also sparked her fanaticism, maybe a little.
Yeah. Well, you definitely either escaped or were rescued. Um, because I imagine this witch. Um, we don't even need to give her a name really, because I think you were low enough to this person that they didn't really care.
They're not gonna come after me with everything at their disposal.
Yeah, I think you were just sort of a non-entity. So, but either you were rescued were or escaped in some way. Really, you can take any liberty. Like if you want to kill the witch yourself, that's totally fine. That's pretty cool.
Nah, that'd
But
be too predictable. But as far as
um,
like typical storytelling would go,
yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is you have as much freedom here as you'd like to do. Um, but I think yeah, you were cleaning up. You were like in the bog, like collecting lizard eyes and crap,
hmm
doing the muck work. And how old were you when you were rescued / escaped? Were you rescued / were you rescued or did you escape? Um, and if you escaped, how'd you do it? If you were rescued, by whom?
that's a good question. I doubt our old man here would charge up and rescue my character, right?
He may not charge up, but he may be responsible for the charge.
Oh yeah, he's like, hey man, there's some really bad stuff. Looks over to like a typical hero type. You should go do something about it. I should. Why didn't I think of that? Um, well maybe let's go with escape then, because then she just has nobody, and then that first person she wanders across, which maybe might be his character. You know, it's like, oh, I definitely need to stick with this guy. You know, he doesn't
Okay.
seem half bad, and he hasn't like seemingly tried to kill me. So as
Tell
for
me, do
her,
you like giving all of your mortal possessions away to the needy?
what? I have nothing. 20.
Oh, so you are the needy. Welcome aboard.
You're unbearably naive. uh, yeah. So as for how she escaped, it's a good one. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, my character's just average. Let's see. Maybe she overheard this witch of some sort, muttering to herself or talking to someone about like some sort of ritual. And then when that ritual happened during like the tense focus or whatever was going on, she decided to make a break
Okay.
for it. Yeah, maybe caused some chaos or something. Maybe like start a small fire, something, distracting, nothing like a final blow on the witch or something. And then, made a break through the bog.
Did you ever get your revenge on the witch?
No. And that's like probably a chip on her shoulder, along with, realizing what the witch has done to her. Because I imagine she's probably very self conscious about her weight and everything.
Right. Um, that makes sense. When you escaped, you had to go somewhere, whether it's a big city or a small village. Uh, was there a decent amount of time between when you escaped? So maybe you were very young when you escaped to when you met Griff's pilgrim, or was it sort of a short time? Was he the one who really took you back into society, or did you do it yourself? Like, did you just kind of like start working around the village, found some work, maybe started going to church, and really learned this like hatred of witches?
Maybe she encountered his character. You know, he introduced her back into society. He taught her the religion a little bit better. She got into it a little too much. And kind of like projected some issues that she has with it. Yeah, so maybe something like that there. I don't know. What do you think, Griffin?
Ah, I think it's pretty good. I would definitely probably start telling you all about how giving to other people is definitely the way to reach Sigmar and all that.
So now he teaches about all this.
Mhm.
Griff teaches about charity and giving, and but you've seen firsthand the cruelty, and he's also mentioned the others a couple of times. Um, Maybe not so well. I don't know, Griff. How do you think? You probably don't preach about the existence of the abyss, but maybe you've had a conversation or something has come up.
Oh yeah, it's somewhere in the subtext. Like, don't do this bad stuff or bad things happen. But I maybe probably don't name check it as nearly as much as say Mr. Witch Hunter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you took what he said and was like, well, that's great and all for you, but somebody's got to be the one to bring these things to justice?
Yeah, something like that. It's like, I mean, she doesn't say, "Oh, charity is stupid" or anything, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's nice to do that, but somebody's got to go out there. Who's gonna
Oh
become
yeah.
like the next me or something.
And I could see if we're probably just sitting around having a random philosophical talk around drinks or something, it'd probably go around the lines of, yeah, you're right. Someone probably does. It doesn't always have to be us or you or me or the peasant with the pitchfork. There's other things you can do out there. Let me tell you about my experience with the abyss, where I did nothing except help other people get out of the way.
Maybe she sees that as like a bit cowardice.
Oh yeah.
And then she's just like, no, we have to do something. I mean, yes, everyone has a part to play, and if at least you're trying, then that counts. But if you can do something, then you have to do it. You need to do it. You
Absolutely.
gotta stop it before it happens.
Now, because there, I'm going to bring this up. You are also lily-livered. So,
I know she is.
You can
She
pretend to
wants-
be more braver than you
yeah,
are.
well, I think that's part of it. Because I'm not questioning it. I think everything your character says is probably very like they might very much mean it. But the next question I'm going to ask is, whilst traveling, and we'll get kind of more into what that looks like in a second here. But whilst traveling, you were met with a challenge that required you to be personally brave, and you failed.
Mhm.
What was that? What was this challenge? It could be anything. And how did you fail? And who did you let down?
Just give the bandits the money. It's okay. He only has a dagger to my throat.
No, that's our low down.
Do whatever you like. I'm just having fun.
Just runs away. It's like, oh, well, you could do that too.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. Let me think. So something happens. There was a challenge. My character failed it. Maybe she knew someone was taking advantage of Griffin's character, and she wanted to do something to confront the guy about it, but the guy or whatever was like really intimidating to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you know, maybe something like that." I don't know.
Okay, so something happened and somebody was taking advantage. We'll say a local criminal. Does that sound good?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. This person was taking advantage of Griffith in some way. Let's say he was getting Griffith to supply charity funds to these people, and then he was just taking it all, right?
And then maybe she found out and was like, I'm gonna tell him. And then the guy's like, "Go ahead. What are you gonna do?" There was that moment of
I think you confronted this person,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's where it went south. And it's because of your, like, you lost your nerve. Why don't you tell me about that?
Okay, so yeah, she confronts this guy. Says, "I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to tell everybody how terrible of a person you are." And then maybe he doesn't even have to say he killed her. He's like, "You do that, I'm going to beat you bloody," or something. And then just like how serious, steely eye he is, it cows her super badly. And she doesn't say anything and lets it go on till they basically move on or something. And then
Okay.
she regrets that, like super bad.
Now I'm going to ask for another situation, a very similar situation. There was another challenge that called you to rise up, but you did. You were able to overcome your this sort of natural inclination towards cowardice, right? You were able to overcome.
All right.
What was that situation, and how did this change? And then why don't you tell me the situation, and then Griff, why don't you tell me how that changed your perspective of Mirage's character?
All right.
Yeah, Griff, come on, let's start. No, I'm joking. um, so I'm thinking, let's say, I don't want to say the exact same situation. Maybe there was an individual that was doing something like really foul, but there was no proof of it to anybody. I mean, there was good suspicion, but a lot of it could have been he said, she said. And Griff and my character may have known. And Griff is like, well, maybe we can get someone to investigate it. Proper people should look into this. My character seeing, this going on is like, no, something has to be done about it. And, maybe kills the guy. There's no straight proof or something. And when I mean kill, maybe like pushed him over or something or whatever, that caused his death. And the guy was bad. It wasn't like, oh, it could have not been, but there was
Then you
no like
found
solid
proof afterwards, right? So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it was somebody who was perhaps being accused of dabbling with with powers of the abyss. And you were in a village, and you confronted this person, and it was maybe accidental, but he died. And you found proof. Now, Griff, you know this. You know this happened. How did that change your perspective on Miraj's character? And how did that change your relationship going forward?
Well, Mirage, I'm proud of you. You gave me a clear and straightforward indication of your beliefs, and you actually followed through, unlike literally everyone I keep meeting out here on the road. I don't need to condescend to you nearly as much as I keep doing. I believe you are actually a philosophical peer, because you actually care about the things you believe in.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome. So now I want to ask some questions about what you guys think your characters developed into over the course of your relationship. Because I imagine you're sort of traveling village to village, helping people, getting alms for the poor, dealing with people's spiritual needs in a way. Mirage, I imagine you're kind of acting like a posse here, right? That's kind of the thing I'm getting. Okay, so what for you? And so I just want you to think about it. What role do you think you start developing into? Do you become like a bruiser, a beater? Like, are you somebody who's like tries to become like a bodyguard? You try to arm yourself physically against threats, or do you think maybe you're starting to fall into a path of like, I don't know. I really kind of see your character addressing things physically. I don't necessarily know you're gonna like start debating people or really go down like a magic path, which is pretty rare.
Also, it's heresy.
Yeah, right. Do you think? Yeah. Do you think though you sort of become more brutal, violent, or do you think you are like a little bit more reserved and helpful? It's tough. I know because you don't really know. I'm trying to like figure out what a good class for you to move into is.
Anything above peasant is an improvement.
That's true.
Well, given my character, probably. Well, first the relationship. Let's address that there. Maybe she's kind of imprinted on Griff's character a bit. Kind of like sees him as sort of maybe an uncle, you know, or maybe reluctantly kind of admits like sort of like a dad. I mean, he's nice, he's good, without question. He's maybe a little too good and naive in some cases. But it's one of the few people that she's met that actually tries to do some good in his own way. As for her, I would say maybe do like the chip on her shoulder with different stuff going on, and the stress that would cause. Probably see her getting a little more violent, you know.
Oh.
But due to like also her nature, she isn't like super upfront about it, unless Like, how to put it?
More in sort of like rogue archetype, right? Striking from the shadows type deal.
Yeah, if you want to be thematic about it, but
Well,
also like she's the first one to jump to like, let's say Griff's character and my character are talking, and he's like, we could talk this over with this guy, or do it this way, and she's like, no, he's guilty. All right, what needs to be done is a rope needs to be around his neck, or he needs to be put to the torch.
Okay. All right. I've got
Maybe
some.
you do have the zealous one there then.
Exactly, I do have that to work with there.
Yeah. Okay. So I will. Hold on. Sorry.
No problem. Just slowly dying right here.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Cool. All right. I have some ideas. We'll come back to this in a minute. I'll sort of like list off some classes I think could fit, and we'll sort of see how you feel about them. Griff, I think a question for you is: do you see your character becoming more in touch with this god enough that you can start manifesting the sort of like divine magic? You can go down that route. I think that makes a ton of sense for your character. I think it's an easy move.
Yeah, definitely.
Or do you want to be somebody who more focuses on the very real? Somebody who's very in the. I mean, I guess technically we consider, there's divine magic, there's something behind it, but somebody who's more invested in like the corporal world, the people in it, and dealing and helping those people. You can really, I think, swing one of those two ways. I don't necessarily see you being like all of a sudden like, yeah, I picked up a sword and started beating people with it.
Yeah, that would be like way too much of a career swing here. I think either way, with the personality and character that we've slowly built here, either way, he will probably.
Okay. So I think that's a super easy one. I think you move into a preacher.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me just make sure that's what one I want.
Is that an expert profession or?
It is a basic profession. It's another basic.
Here we go.
And there's a couple of other divine casters, so I just want to like take a look at them to see if I see anyone that fits maybe a little better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, preacher as spiritual advisor, leader, and confidant is basically this character, and exactly where he was going.
There's also adherent, which is belong to an ancient orders. You take a vow to live a life of meditation and prayer. I mean, they're generally female, but whatever, it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, and they all are like all orders. They cast aside violence. So your trait is literally turn the other cheek. Any creature that's classified as a human, you suffer a -20 base chance to strike you with attacks until you incite violence to them. So adherent is a little bit more peace based. But you are also a divine magic caster. So actually, why don't you take a look at those two and see which one speaks to you more? I think those two are kind of the way.
Yeah, turn the other cheek does sound like a very fun ability.
Yeah, literally anybody who tries to attack you just suffers a -20 base chance to hit you.
Yeah, I think I was doing a 5th edition campaign with a Path of Peace monk, which was like some Unearthed Arcana thing. Basically the same premise. Hey, I have Sanctuary on myself all the time until I start the fight. So that is a very fun ability to kind of throw around. The Preacher just has straight up divine magic. Bam. Yeah. It also has Fire and Brimstone. Flip the results to succeed at leadership test. When you succeed, it's always considered a critical success.
Yeah, so you're good at leading people is what it means. So that's why I think either of those are really good.
Oh yeah. How much in the back do I want to be? But it's also, this is a game of investigation with few combats. Well, I guess someone could still try punching me on the street.
I will say there are combats, like, I do try to put in some action every few sessions.
Yeah.
So I would say on average, maybe a combat 1 in every 2 to 3 sessions. Sometimes there was a drought where there was like 4, or just no fights.
Yeah.
But not every session has a fight for sure.
Okay.
Actually, our last 2 have. They've been pretty fighty, but that's for other reasons.
It is an interesting toss-up here. Sometimes I would defer to, is there a leadership character in the party overall already?
I don't think so. I mean, there kind of is. Oh god, but Raz just died.
Then I think what all you heretics need is some Sigmar in your life. Let's do some Preacher.
Okay, Preacher. Yeah, write that down, and that's your second class. I will talk to you all about magic some other time.
Yeah, I
we
imagine
can
that's a
figure
long
it out.
talk. We can just hold that off.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and write it in here.
We can pick some magic. Yeah. You really only get the generalist magic, but your next profession would be more centered on a certain god and what they can do.
Okay.
And just because you are a Sigmar doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the war priest, right? We can find something else that maybe fits a little more to your character's values.
Yeah, we could figure out if maybe I'd like align slightly more with like a different god, but I still participate in this philosophy. We'll see.
Now, okay, so now let's get back to our fanatic.
Burn it? What? Who?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That guy's guilty? Yeah, he looks guilty.
I mean, becoming a witch hunter is an interesting premise. But unfortunately, you don't have the skill. It's a much more advanced profession. So unfortunately, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I need a montage before I can get there.
So I'm just kind of looking out. There is a doomsayer, which, if you're familiar with Warhammer, is the fanatic, right? So you literally like you self-flagellate, and you become very tough. You are extremely tough. You never wear armor, and that's like a very up-in-your-face, sort of bruisey, religion-based fighter class.
That sounds brutal. Hello?
Sorry, I was flipping through my book.
It got like super quiet. I was like, "Oh shit! Did I cut out?"
Yeah, sorry.
Rajin's pretty cool. Right now, she's dealing with a lot, so I imagine that would show in that way. And maybe she like misinterpreted like some passage and whatnot, like one must purify their blood or something.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I'm just like quickly looking because I know there's other ones I wanted to pitch to you, and there's one more. There's at least two more. There's some of them are in the other book. If you want those pitches, and I'll just fill them in for you, or would you rather stay in the core book?
That is totally your call. It's your game. I'm fine with basically whatever. I don't mind hearing what the other options are.
Yeah. Just trying to think of what makes sense. I don't really think any of these are you. No. Okay. Yeah, Inquisitor. If Inquisitor is sort of what we're building towards, then maybe I should take a look at that and see what that requires.
I'll try not to do any Inquisitor jokes. God knows I've heard enough of them as it is. Played 40k enough times.
Okay. 2 skill ranks in Resolve, which I think you already have 1, so that's not hard to get. Okay, so then that's not a big deal. We can kind of go whatever. Okay, so yeah, I think the Doomsayer is a good one. I think if you wanted to be more underhanded and like, sort of catch people at night when their back is turned, Footpad is basically the stealth fighter. Let's see. The anarchist, pamphleteer, and the pamphleteer are people who like incite crowds to violence. I don't know if that sounds interesting to you. We could also just do like sellsword, like just to sort of show, yes, I'm becoming more fighty. This is how. Let me just check the other book because there's also one called an apostle, which is just like the beat stick of the church. They basically beat people up for the church. That's their job.
You didn't go to communion this Sunday, Timmy. You know what that means?
Yep, essentially it. Can I find that book? Holy crap!
Yeah, take your time.
Well, okay. Which of those sound interesting so far?
So far, the ones that immediately sound interesting is the Cell Sword, and this is no particular order. The Flagellant, and the Footpad. Those three sound like something she could work towards.
Well, this is what you are now.
Oh well, yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Now get
Yeah.
more proficient in, I should say. There we go.
yeah. It sounds like to me you're working towards Inquisitor, right? Like being a witch hunter, in some way,
Mm-hmm.
which makes a lot of sense given your past. But that can obviously change as you character moves forward, but
Or die.
right, or dies horribly. Yeah. So okay. So the benefit of being the Flagellant is you'll become way tougher and way harder to kill.
Okay.
Um, which might make sense. The Cell Sword, this is just a guy who fights, right? You just beat people with your sword.
Yeah, the
Um,
fighter of the group.
yeah, you'd be outclassed by the other fighter of the group, for sure. But that would be what you're working towards, is, you know. But let's see what else. The Footpad would make you very deadly in an opening sort of stealth attack.
Yeah, I also gotta factor in she's lily livered. So flagellant and cell sword would mean she would have to deal with someone up front, which so far she hasn't really been able to get the courage. I mean, hell,
Well,
the one guy she killed was kind of on accident.
so you could
So,
say the Flagellant, the self-flagellation, is to get yourself prepared for that, right? Is to sort of
true. Yeah. Whip herself into the mindset.
mhm.
Mm, man, that's a tough one. So right now I've narrowed it down to footpad and flagellant. Then, hmm. Well, I'm going to decide it with a dice roll. What do you guys say?
Sounds good to me.
Let's
Unless you
do
have
it.
a preference, GM.
I don't necessarily have a preference. I think everything's fun.
Oh,
that's my go-to there.
all right. Let's see. Oh shit! I forgot to declare what it was. Okay, so I'm going to re-roll again. So low, flagellant, high, footpad. Please do that. There we go.
Okay, Footpad it is.
Sweet. I push people
Alright.
out of windows. I don't have issues.
Nice. So yeah, as a Footpad, you get a huge bonus to basically your first sort of attack from stealth, or when you greatly outnumber somebody, which I think also makes sense thematically. um,
Cool.
so yeah.
Where do I put that? Would that be under talents?
So it will actually go. You can put it on your rewards and tiers, and then your profession. You can write peasant / footpad because you're both of those things.
So I'm a PP?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, couldn't escape the low brow humor there. Let's see. Pad. All right, there we go. Kinda annoying. All right.
Okay, cool. So we have a lot of this. I have some information about your backgrounds, but now I'm going to talk a little bit about the present. And of course, I'm going to send you some more backgroundy stuff for you guys to kind of. They're basically a bunch of questions about how you feel about certain people and things that have happened with them. You don't necessarily have to answer. A lot of people feel like they have to. You do not. you can just look at them and know, okay, this is kind of interactions I've had with them. I can answer this as it comes up. Or if you really like, you can write in answers, and so I can read it, and then I'll try and work that in as much as I can. I am really good either way. Both of them work extremely well for me. So I'll try to have that to you guys this weekend. Again, we'll see. But let's talk about your character's present. And you are in a small town called Bobstout. The Civil War has been raging for about a year, leaving a trail of destruction and chaos. Griff, one of your superiors at the Order, maybe you were trekking in at a monastery, has sent you to this area to link up with the bishop. I believe his name is Bishop Dale. If you actually want, I can show you.
Ooh.
Oh, he's not dead?
What was that?
Oh, he's not dead? At least
Who?
along the long list of people that are now dead or flayed in one case.
The bishop is not dead. There's just a witch hunter who was flayed, but we'll get to that. Bishop Dale has called you guys to Bobstott. Here, I'll even show you what it looks like. Here's our little town of Bobstott.
Oh, cozy.
Yeah. It's a small market town, and it's sort of it's actually, I guess it's a kind of a big market town. It's the hub for this entire area. It's like a little pocket of the empire, really sort of almost on the frontier against a large natural border. There's there's a lot of activity in Bobstott, and of course I'll get to that soon. But the bishop has asked you to come because they need more preachers, and he thinks there is a problem with witches. And in fact, the first time the two of you ever meet him, he tells you that a couple of witches have escaped their custody recently, and he sent you to go find them. And that's where we're going to pick up as you meet another member of our party who's been accused of being a witch. So,
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Probably guilty.
You got the guilty stamp ready, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Straight to the forehead, just like we practice.
I got my good arm ready for this one.
It's too bad they can't read. When they know they're guilty when they see the stamp.
Yeah.
If they could read, that means they're a witch.
Right. Oh, that's another fun fact. Mirage, your character, unless they pick up a rank in education, you cannot read. So you are illiterate, as you are lowborn and do not have a skill rank in education.
Cool. That means I'm not a witch.
Sweet.
Yeah, I get what you say. It makes sense because reading during that sort of time period was very rare. I mean, hell, even some nobles didn't bother.
Learn to read only as much as you need to, then get back to farming.
Yeah. The best thing is you're not the only illiterate member of the party, and it will be real fun when you meet the other one.
Oh, that's good, right? Yeah.
But yes, so you guys are going to be sent to this town. I'm going to do a little write-up about things that are weird in the town, like very weird, and of course some people you know in the area and some people you know as they relate to the story. And of the two, when you find these two witches, quote unquote, Griff, your character will have had an interaction with one of them, the NPC, not necessarily the PC. But your character will have an interaction, and I will write that into your dossier. So that's an important one. I got to make sure you're done.
Okay. Sounds good.
Good cop, bad cop? Bad cop, really bad
It's definitely feeling that way right now.
So, yeah, awesome. I think that's all I got for you guys today.
Excellent.
Yeah. Looking forward to next week. I'm sure it'll be a cluster.
Oh, is there anything you could tell us about the rest of the party, or we're going to wait for when we all meet?
I think we should just wait till we meet. I think that's
Okay,
the
keep it
best way
raw.
to. Yeah, it's the kind of the best way to go about this. Yeah, because they're interesting characters, and I would do them disservice by telling you about them.
Hey, no
It'll
problem.
definitely be fun to see them in action. Let's see. So you're gonna work on the dossier. Is there anything we need to do with the sheets? I think you said there was a lot you were gonna do for Mirage. Anything I should take care of?
Okay, so yes, your peasant and your two professions. You see, you have your basic tier and intermediate tier. Your intermediate tier is your new profession. You need to fill out all the skill ranks and stuff. You guys
Yep.
will have bought your basic trait, and I think you'll be able to afford one advance. I am going to send you a message sometime tomorrow with that information.
Okay.
Feel free to go ahead and ask me any questions you have. This is an important one for you because I have both your sheets open. You have two traits, talents that are the same. So if you pick Impervious Mind, when you have to pick that, you'll actually get to choose any other talent you want in the game. So,
Ooh, wonderful. Yeah, that was something that crossed my mind and I forgot to ask. Thank you for saying so.
and of course, you all have some basic trappings. Those are in your book under your archetype, and you can fill
Okay.
those out under the talents and trappings part. And each of you have a special item, which I will think about and tell you what it is.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Alright.
I'll pick up the book and do some reading on it. But it
Yeah.
seems like it's following the Warhammer Heresy and fantasy system pretty closely so far.
There's some differences, but it's pretty similar. Just let me know if you can't get the book or you don't have the book by like Saturday, Sunday, so I can do that filling out stuff for you. It shouldn't take me that long, but it'll just be way easier if I get it done for you.
Sure, no problem. If I have any
Mhm.
troubles acquiring the book or don't have it, I'll make sure to let you know.
All right. Look forward to next week, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you guys.
Bye.